Hey everyone, this is Mr. Bells. I just wanted to put this video out here to help you with solving systems of equations by matrices and by graphing using your technology, and then about finding intersections or the four critical points of a parabola, so the vertex, the two x-intercepts, and the y-intercepts. I'm going to do it based off of one of the quizzes that we had in class, so if you saw the quiz and you struggled on it, hopefully this will be a great example. Oh, yep, doing this live during school, so you might hear a few different things as we go through here. The first thing, it says solve the following system by graphing. You'll see that one of them's in y-intercept form, the other one's not in y-intercept form. So I'm going to go ahead and take this equation right here and put it into y-intercept form. When I do that, I can just look at whatever's in front of the x, whatever's in front of the y, and I'm going to do the opposite of whatever's in front of the x. So that'd be, since this is positive 3, that'd be negative 3 over whatever's in front of the y. So negative 3 over negative 2, negative 3 over negative 2, since there's two negatives, just make it positive. So I get y equals 3 halves x, and then the y-intercept is whatever c right here is divided by that b. So negative 284 divided by negative 2 is positive 142. So plus 142. I'm going to take this equation and enter it into my calculator. So I'm going to go to on, y equals, and I got 0.05x plus 268, and you can see this again, 3 halves x, 3 halves x, plus 142. Okay? I'm going to take those equations and I'm going to think about where they are in terms of my window. So I have a slope of 1.5, so that's a steep line starting at 142 and going up. And a slope of 0.05, that's almost flat up here at 268. So if I hit zoom 6, most of you remember that's just a negative 10 to negative 10 window. Of course I don't see that because again my y-intercepts are at 268 and 142. That's way up there. So I go in my window and I go, okay, I want to go high enough. I'm going to go all the way up to 500. Now, because of the fact that these lines are so flat and the other one's steep, but it's way up there, I'm probably going to have to move my x pretty big too. So I'm going to move my x out here to 250. I think it'll probably make it by then. Let's just do a quick little peek. So I hit graph, and there's my one line, and there's my other line, and I'm like, hey, that's a pretty good window for it. You guys know, second trace, number 5, enter, enter, enter. Gives me that, and right here it tells me the x value, so 86.9, and the y value 272.3. So I'm going to go 86.9, comma 2, and it was 72.3. Okay, that's what my solution is. You can see a little sketch of my window, as I had one line that was really flat and one line that was kind of coming up like this. And that's all I need to see from you. And it could be different for different people because the windows can be all different. Solution has to be the same, but the window can be different. Now it says show the matrices you use to solve the system by inverse matrices. Well, when I'm using matrices, I do want the one equation, 3x minus 2y equals negative 284. I want that one to look like that, x, y equals number. But this one's not. This one's in slope-intercept form, so I got to move this 0.05 over. So I'm going to have negative 0.05x, and then it's a 1y plus 1y equals, and then that was 268. And now they're both in x, y equals numbers format. So my A matrix is going to look like this. 3, negative 2, negative 0.05, and 1. And my B matrices are going to be the answers, which are negative 284 and 268. And then the solution to the matrix, we said we're going to do is A inverse B. Okay, so here we go. second quit, second matrix, over to edit, 2 by 2, enter. So I need to put this set of numbers across here. So I hit 3, enter. As soon as I hit enter, it'll move it to the next box. -2, enter. -0.05, enter. And 1, enter. Now that's the stuff that I have in the matrix. Now I need to edit the next one. So I'm going to hit second and quit to go to my home screen. Second and matrix to get me back to here. Over to edit and down to B. B is a 2 by 1. And I just hit the down arrow and I get -284 and 268. Okay. Go back to my home screen. I have the 2 matrices in there, and I need to do A inverse B. So here we go. Second matrix A, inverse key, that's a little x to the -1 key right there. And second matrix B. And when I hit that, I should get the exact same answers that I got when I graphed. If I don't get that, then something's concerning to me. So my matrix then should look like this. And I put the answers in as a 2 by 1, just the way that you see it, 86.9 and 272.3. Okay, now I'm going to do it with RREF. With RREF, my matrix is going to look like this. It's going to be a 2 by 3, so I'm going to do the matrix, the A thing and the B thing all in one matrix. So 3, -2, -284, -0.05, and 1, and 268. Take these ones right here, and I'm going to put them in second matrix, over to edit, and enter. Make this a 2 by 3. And then the last matrix I used for the A are still the same numbers, so I'm going to keep those there. Just need to go to the third column. -284 and 268. So I got my 2 by 3 in there. Second quit. There's my home screen. And now I don't want to do A inverse B, because of course I can't inverse A anymore because it's not a square matrix. But I do want to RREF, so that second matrix to the middle column math, and I scroll down to RREF. Go ahead and hit enter, and I want to do that for matrix A. You can see, as soon as I do RREF, which stands for reduced row echelon form, I get 86.9 and 272.3, the same numbers that I got before. So I get a 1001 and an 86.9 and a 272.3. And that's what it does for solving systems by matrices using inverse matrices and RREF. Hopefully that was helpful. This last thing is, I'm going to try and do this and find all the solutions for, or all the critical points for -0.02 x squared plus 3x plus 14, which means I need to find a maximum point, the x-intercept, and the y-intercept. That I'm going to use my technology for again. Go to clear, go to my y equals, get rid of those 2 lines that I had before, and I'm going to put in this equation. So I got to do a negative. Remember, negative is this little button right down here at the bottom. Not the subtraction sign, but the little negative. -0.02 x squared plus 3x plus 14. Now, before I hit graph, I want to think about my window. So this is a parabola. It's got a negative leading coefficient, so it opens down. It's got 0.02, which means that it's going to make it really wide. So on my window, I do need to go to the right, like I did for the last one, and I do need to go up. I don't think I need to go up to 500. I'm going to change that one to maybe 200 to begin with. Sorry, I went one too far. 200 for that. And I'm just going to do a quick little graph and see if going 250 to the right and 200 up is a decent window. I feel pretty good about that. Now, some of you have the older calculators, and I would strongly suggest this. I want to see below and to the left a little bit more on this. And I also, these are really thick tick marks up and down, so I'm going to change those things too. Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit further to the left, so I'm going to go -50. I'm going to change my X scale to 50, so it only puts a tick mark every 50. And I'm going to go a little further down on this, so I'm going to go to -50. I'll make my Y scale also 50. That means where it's going to put a tick mark. Now when I do this, I can see on my calculator the high point just like I could before, but now I think I see the x-intercepts a little bit better and the y-intercept a little bit better. Okay? Coming back to that in just a second. So here, I can do the y-intercept easy. So the y-intercept is 0, and if that's the x value for 0, then I plug 0 in, and that kills off that x term, and kills off that x term. So if both those terms are gone, then I know that all I have left is 14. So 0, 14 is the y-intercept. It's always just whatever the constant is. Now the maximum value, I got to go right here. That's the high point. So I'm going to hit second and trace. Right there is number 4 maximum. Now it says left bound, so I got to move my cursor from right here to the left side of it. So I'm going to scroll with my arrows. There's to the left side, and I'll hit enter. And I'll scroll with my arrows. That's to the right side, and I'll hit enter. And you'll see on my calculator it puts 2 vertical lines. It'll find the highest point any place between those 2 vertical lines. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and it shows me the maximum value is at 75 and 126.5. So the location is 75, 126.5, but the maximum value is actually 126.5. That's the highest point. That's the location of the highest point, 75 to the right and 126.5 up. But the maximum value of the function is actually the y value. The x-intercepts are these 2 places where it crosses the x-axis, right here and right here. And I could use the 0 function, so I can trace and number 2, 0, to be able to get one of those. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one branch over here. And it says left bound. So currently right now, if I drew a vertical line down, that vertical line would be the left of where it crosses the x-axis. So I'm going to hit enter there, puts that vertical line. And now I'm going to go below the line, and now my cursor is to the right of that point. I'm going to hit enter, and it'll find any place that the graph hits 0 between those 2 things. I hit enter, and you can see it says -2e, -11, which again, that's scientific notation. It basically stands for a negative 0.0000000002, or 11 decimal places to the left for it. So really, really, really small. So my x-intercept is this thing right over here. I'm going to go ahead and just round it to 154.5. So I go 154.5, 0. There's one place it crosses the x-axis. I'm going to show you this way. Instead of doing left bound and right bound, I might graph like this to find that place. I'd go to my y equals, and I'd hit 0 for that point. Now when I hit graph, you can see there's the blue, and here's the red. I'm going to do second trace, number 5 for intersection. Simply move my cursor closer to that intersection point, enter, 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 and I get -4.53. -4.53, 0. Okay, so that is your basis on how to be able to solve using your graphing calculator for matrices, A inverse B, RREF, and graphing, and then using your graphing calculator to find minimums and maximums, x and y intercepts, and all of that points. Hopefully that was slow enough and at a good pace that you were very successful. Please watch. Maybe even send me an email and say, hey, that was very helpful, if you like. Thanks. Have a great day.